Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the 7 Days of Peace for the Holidays challenge. Good morning. How are you all? I'm going to give it just a minute for everybody to kind of find me online, say good morning when you're here. I love that. Okay, let's talk about yesterday just a little bit for those of you who are joining me. For those of you who came in on the replay, welcome. For those of you just joining us, welcome. We still have beautiful souls signing up. Today's going to be a conversation around feeling in the body. So how we relate to peace in the body, how we relate to feeling peace in the body. And through our conversation today, we're going to touch just a bit back on yesterday's conversation and how it welcomes itself into today's layer, this next layer for ourselves. We're also going to experience a beautiful mindfulness technique to drop us into our body so we can experience more peace and ease. It will be a very short experience, but it will also allow you to feel what it's like to be in that present moment and grounded. So when we get to that part of the conversation, I'm going to let you know, because if you're driving or running around, you want to make sure that you come back to a time when you're really centered. But let's dive in with a reflection of yesterday and why the homework might have been potent for you. And if you're here with me, I just want to make sure I can see everything. Say hello so I can see you. And then I'm going to make sure also I can see comments on my phone. I'm traveling today, so I'm in a different location, which is fun. But looks like we've got tech on our favor, which is even greater. Okay, so I see us. Okay. Good morning, Darla. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. All right, so we're going to dive in. Yesterday's homework. Did anybody go and make a list of the things that were in the moment we're feeling like they were compromising your peace? Was there something interesting that you found in making that list? Now, in making that list, it wasn't about feeling bad. It was just about bringing to your awareness something new, something that's actually in your control, and something we can play with throughout the week to see what small shifts can create really big results. So pop in the comments below. One, if you were able to journal a little bit on the homework assignment, and then tell me what your experience was after yesterday. How did the end of the call leave you feeling? And as we dive in, I want to just quickly mention something about how in the morning, it's really important to focus our brain in the correct direction for how we want to feel in the day. Because in the morning, our brain is so malleable. It's very shapeable when we first wake up. So some of these things I've had to teach myself to bring in more peace more often is noticing how it is I'm waking up every day. What are the habits? What do I do? Do I grab my phone first thing? Do I start checking email? Because I used to do that right away, earlier the better, that I didn't have to do all that when I got to work. But it created a lot of stress in my body, and it perpetuated this loop of not peace, right? This loop of feeling like there was always a time clock going. You guys ever feel that way? Like you just were ticking away at the time, like you didn't have enough unless you started super early. And it was robbing my peace until I began to realize I could make 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes for settling in and coming into that grounded, delicious way that I wanted to wake up, savoring that cup of coffee, sitting by the fireplace in the winter. In the summer, I'll be on my patio, having a moment to journal or read or do something for 5 minutes that I'm always saying I don't have time for. And then I move into a quick couple minutes of yoga. So what is it for you that you found might be creating some of that tension, the overthinking, the worry, the frustration? And let's talk about that for a second, because we had a lot of people yesterday really coming back to that moment of, this is how I'm feeling in the day. And one of the other most powerful things that I was able to realize through the studies of my coaching program when I first started, and the experience of me going first, was that even if I woke up a certain way, it didn't make it wrong. It just gave me an opportunity to choose something else. And then it opened my perception to what else would I want. And then that question of what I want became this catalyst for, I don't know, And it allowed me to start giving myself permission to think in terms of what would I want? I'm not at the whim of the kids' schedules. Yes, we have to get to school on time, but there was still time for me. What was I willing to do? So it became more of a willingness conversation. And I realized that how I set the stage for my morning every morning began to create this relationship with my body that I'd never had before. I never looked at my body as this relationship cultivation. I looked at it as something that wasn't looking the way I wanted to. It needed to be a certain way. It wasn't working the way I wanted it to. It was my enemy, like all of these misperceptions that I had created for decades. And I really wanted to love myself more, really bring in that nurturing. And the only way that that was going to happen is if I chose to do that. And so it really required for me to look at different ways that, even on subconscious programming, like we were talking yesterday, how I was attached to a certain outcome, how I was attached to the way something was supposed to be, until I started doing something differently, I didn't realize the freedom that was also available. So little things, brushing your teeth with your other hand, reversing the order for which you make your breakfast, driving a different way to work, like all these little tiny things that could really bring in some new awareness and welcome me into more of the mastery of my own being and who I wanted. I want to make sure I can see comments. I think we're looking good. Okay. So optimizing that nervous system, like we talked about yesterday, realizing what the heck is really going on, what is the reality, what is the illusion, and what is in my control that I've been pretending to not tell myself, which is creating more of the angst, more of the pressure, because half of the time, I would even say more, 90% of the time, the pressure was from internal. The pressure was me creating shame and guilt and looping myself back around into expectation that I thought everybody needed from me. When I set myself free from that, I was able to gain more space and more spaciousness and realize, how did it feel in my body when I was gifted that spaciousness? And that's where that journey of healing started for me, because it didn't feel safe. It didn't feel comfortable. It didn't feel like a foundation, but I got curious. And so the mastery that wants to unfold itself became the journey. How we talked about changing our thinking yesterday, but not even just changing the thinking, paying attention and bringing your awareness to what is going on, because the next thing that happens is how we feel about the thought. So feeling drops into the body, and then we make a meaning. The brain just makes meaning. It does what it does. It gives it a meaning on how we liked it, how we didn't like it. Do we want to do it again? Do we not? And we move forward in action or inaction according to that meaning and how it feels in the body. So today, I just want to bring us back to center so we can let go of anything else in the moment that we might be attached to what we think we need, what we think has to be, and open that perception window just a bit more into what else can be possible. So I pulled some gratitude cards, because gratitude is one of those things that really can guide us back into our center. And it's oftentimes overused. And so I want to talk about this a little bit, not in like, go make 30 grateful things that you're grateful for. It can be helpful, but I like to feel the gratitude from the things that I really feel resonating through my heart. I really feel like when I can connect to something in gratitude, like how in depth I'm in love with my children and how grateful I am for having been a mom for them, being through that experience and now being there through their adulthood, there's like an emotion that gets attached to that in a beautiful way. When we can find the gratitude for the things around us in abundance already, our mind begins to seek more of that. We talked about the reticular activation system yesterday and how that lands us into more of what we say that we're wanting to see. So let's see what's going on in the comments. This resonates with me about mornings. I deal with chronic pain. I find sometimes how I feel when I first wake up basically carries over into the day. It's like I was already making the choice that I was going to be in a bad pain day. And now I give myself an hour before even making any type of plan. I love that so much. And Do you find that even when you notice you can feel better, that sometimes that default program wants to come in later in the day when things get busy again? And then in that realization, we can actually come back to, in this moment, I'm okay. In this moment, I'm grateful. In this moment, my body is here for me. I think it's really powerful, and it's not something that we're taught. And so we have to learn by experience, right? And a lot of times when we're learning by experience, we're going through a lot of health issues, or the body's already said enough is enough. You can no longer not see what's going on in here. So my intention is to nurture and nourish that space in the body, and also do some preventative measures so we can realize when our nervous system is a little racked up. I have found that the habit has been built for 40 years, right? So it's always looking inside for something to be wrong, for there to be a problem. It's ready to go. It's ready for the shoe to drop. It's ready for the rug to be pulled out from underneath me. It's an old response pattern. And now that I'm moving through a lot of that and moving to the other side, and you are too, you guys are all working through things, right? You're stepping out, you're shining brightly, you're being more unapologetic in who you are. It can activate that same unsafe feeling in the body, where the nervous system begins to say, I need a minute. The brain's like, full speed ahead. I get it. Logical, got it, go. The body just needs to work through what's here. And so facing, feeling, freeing what is, allowing ourselves to be with that just a bit more, so we can also recall a different way to feel, a different way to be. And we can let go of the old story that we've created for ourselves around how it's only going to be. And one of these things that I've been really playing with recently is aging. I know that the body's going to age and that every year we get older, but I really feel like if we can program the body to dis-ease by how we think and feel most of the time when we're not paying attention, I think we can also guide it towards healing. We can focus those beliefs and thoughts and shift those towards healing. Now, it's going to take diligence and work and realization, and coming back to knowing that we're already whole, and understanding that there's going to be an ebb and flow with all of those feeling states. But it also allows us the possibility of what else we can do when the mind and the body come together. The mind and the body are built to heal. We're the ones who get in the way. Spirit wants to flow. The mind and body want to be in a cohesive, coherent state. And when they do, when they flow, it's those moments where we feel bliss. We feel effortless. We feel like, even in meditation, when we're quietly in that void, we don't feel our body anymore. We just feel the expansiveness. And it's always available to us. So for me, coming back to gratitude is one of the best ways, when our eyes are open, that we can drop into the grounded feeling in our body. So I have a few gratitude cards I pulled this morning from my deck. This is a deck that I made years, I guess probably 2 years ago. So I'm grateful for moving beyond my healing and becoming the creator of my life, which is where we're going in this conversation. It's not that we're never done healing. We'll always be healing some aspect of some belief, because we have thousands upon probably millions of belief systems, little individual layers of things that we'll always be experiencing in life, from what was to what is, to new experiences, to new meanings, to old meanings, to holding on to the past. But we could actually let go of those meanings and notice when we made that decision, and simply make a new one to bring us into something more. And coming back into gratitude for what is right now drops us into the present moment. And the other one that I pulled, which was ironic, is I'm grateful for nourishing my body and appreciating all that it does for me. So we're going to take that appreciation conversation today and just take it one step further. Good morning for those of you joining. Welcome. I'm trying to see if I can see all the comments here. Hold please. Okay. So are we willing and are we ready to harmonize the body? Are we willing to create more of what we're wanting through the lens of love, letting fear aside for a moment and letting ourselves think, what would love say? How could I love myself 1% more today? How can I bring myself back to this grounded moment, even when I place my hand on my heart and breathe into it and realize this is the connection, and everything else can wait when I lead from this place. Good morning. Thanks for being here. We're going to acknowledge the feelings and bring awareness towards what we want to replace that feeling state with more. So in this case, there's a multitude of frequencies through our value, through trust, through love, through belonging. But we're going to look at peace and ease, love, peace, and ease today. So we can welcome more of that in and really feel the resonance expand in our heart from that. Cultivating that loving, trusting relationship with self. That is what propels us forward in our businesses. This is what propels us forward with the stability and the foundation to take the very next step, to step outside of the comfort zone and to get better at experiencing ourselves in this new space instead of defaulting back to old pattern. Every time, we already know it's comfortable, even though we don't like it, it's comfortable where we've been. We know how to do that. We've struggled, we've made it through, we're familiar with that in our body. But when we start to transform and we start to allow ourselves to move into more peace, we may not know what it's like over here. So it's about giving ourselves grace and gratitude and appreciation and all these other beautiful emotions that can equally be present. It's not without that we get there, it's through. And so we take that shadow, that past memory, that old story, we begin rewriting the story because we accept where we are. We accept the body. We accept it 20 pounds heavier. We accept it fitter. We accept it while it's stressed. We accept it through all these experiences because that is the current situation. And anything else is creating struggle and separation from where we are now. Good morning, Melinda. Thank you for being here. Anything is possible for us to create in the physical based off our mind and heart focusing as one, allowing them to come together. So oftentimes I invite my mind into my heart to get curious how that feels and invite it to stay. And that's when you'll feel it when I go to thoughts and you just say, come on home, come back home. So as I spoke about, I want to hear from you as you guys are here now joining me. How is this conversation resonating? Activating this healing power of our mind and body and getting curious. What else is possible for us when we've already found the evidence of what can happen when we stress out too much, right? That we realize we're not at the whim of these emotions. We are not our emotions. We're not our body. We're not our mind. We're our soul having this human experience. And in such, we're already whole. And whenever I heard that at first, I got activated. So if you're feeling something right now, just be with it. It's okay. I didn't feel whole. I didn't feel complete. I felt like I had to scramble and get to that next place. But that was that beautiful pattern that was revealing itself for me to land into healing that, having grace and compassion for that, and stepping through it one more time, stepping through one next step, stepping through how I wanted to feel, and giving my nervous system a minute to catch up. And so as we do this today, we're going to really land into that foundation of harmony so we can land into the natural cycles of being, right? We get to get curious and open about our experiences instead of keeping those blinders on so intently. Let me check comments real quick so I can see everyone who's here. Hello, Denise. Good morning. So, hi, Misa. Good morning. Hi, guys. It's so exciting to have you all here. Okay. So, I'm just going to flip the page. So, let's talk about the quality of your experiences, coming back to choice point, understanding that our peace begins within and nothing can rob our peace unless we allow it to. And it doesn't mean things don't get challenging at times. We're on this human journey, right? People will trigger us, experiences will trigger us. Yet we can navigate these triggers and learn to move through them and understand to feel them instead of resist them. So we can land on to synchronicity and also see what else is happening for us, what else has been created, so we don't have to stay in that old loop. So we're learning to listen to the body and inviting wellness, wholeness, health, the wealth of being where we are right now. So what in your life wants to harmonize? Feel into that question today and type in the chat below. What wants to harmonize? Is it your financial picture? Is it your expansion of business? Is it your health, your well-being, your relationships? And then feeling into that, what brings you happiness? The things that light up that giggle inside, like childlike abandon. What are the things that bring you happiness? Health and organization, good. What do you love about your life? And these might be things like it goes a little faster than you guys can type, and that's okay. You can come back and do some of the journaling on this. What are you grateful for today, right now, in this moment? Connecting to people, good. Yeah. And where does joy already exist? Where does it already exist? And if the mind gets really busy right now, just say, I invite you into my heart. Let's work together on this. What brings me happiness? What do I love about my life? What am I grateful for? Where does joy already exist? Denise, it typed out, oh, waking up. Okay. That's not what you wanted to say. Waking up, right? There's so many moments in the morning. I'm just like, oh, I'm here. I'm awake today. Another day. So grateful. The people in our lives, the connections, that experience that you can't get by yourself. We're not meant to travel this world alone. I love the connection. And feel it, put your hand on your heart and feel into your body real quick. Feel that heart beating. Think of all the amazing things your body can do. Let's shift the focus from what it isn't to what it is, what can be. How it wakes up every day and it filters our body from what we ate, how we breathed, what we experienced the day before, how the emotions are the key codes to feeling better when we learn not to resist them, how we can welcome ourselves into a different experience without changing a thing by just opening our perception and our experience, our awareness. And I feel my heart beating faster now that you guys are all joining in. So if you're not driving, I'm going to walk you through a small mindfulness practice and we'll end our call there today. And then I'll be posting homework later for those who want to participate. And even actually bringing in those journal prompts so you can expand upon them and type them out when you have some more time. Coming back to the abundance and the joy that's already here. So if you're with me now and you can get into a comfortable position, you may close your eyes. You can keep your eyes open. Place your hand on your heart and invite your mind to come into your heart, to have a seat, to get curious what it's like to be inside there. And invite you to begin with 3 deep breaths. No right or wrong way to do the breaths, just breathing in. Exhale through the mouth. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in one more time. Exhale. And just notice the noise. Just kidding. Notice the shoulders rolling. They just settle in just a little bit more. Just be with your heartbeat. I invite you to feel in your body where your essence lives. It's not a question we get often. Your essence lives inside of you. Where might that be for you? It can be anywhere. It can be in your right knee. It could be in your belly. It can be in your heart. Just feel into that essence. Getting curious. Guess if you have to. And we're going to begin to start at the top of our head, and we're going to invite peace and ease, the frequencies of peace and ease to travel through the body. From the top of the head, we feel it most through the crown, even though it's always all around us, the waves, the particles, the frequencies. We're going to drop them into our body from the top of the head, getting curious what it feels like as this beautiful golden wave of peace and ease comes streaming down our spine, passes behind our eyes, our throat, down into our neck. It begins to expand into our chest. It begins to expand down the arms, into the hands, back up to the chest, filling that entire heart space. Maybe you actually feel the amplification of the energy in your heart once the peace and the ease roll through that space. And then down below your solar plexus, down towards your belly button, into your root chakra, your hips, welcoming in more peace, more ease, inviting the mind back into the heart if it starts to go through the to-do list today. There's nowhere else it needs to be, nothing else it needs to do. And we land into the energy spilling over your thighs, over your knees, behind your calves, and down below your feet. And come back to that essence. And see if you can bring that essence up into your heart space as well. Just use your imagination, allowing it to swirl and expand. Breathing in. And see how it wants to grow. And see if you can use your imagination to take that energy and fill the body from heart to head, all the cells in between, and from head down to the heart again, and down below, following it all the way to your toes. Just take a moment to feel what it's like to be in this peace, to be grounded in your body. And I want you to bring your hand to your heart and ask the question just for today: what is my one next best step to keep peace flowing through my day? And just wait for the answer. It won't be a list, it'll be one word, a whisper. It's my one next best step for welcoming more peace into my day. And slowly open your eyes and feel free to type it in the chat. Welcome back. Acceptance. Good. Steady. Beautiful. How did that feel? Breathe. Yeah, that's a good one. The one tool we always have with us that we sometimes take for granted is our breath. It can always, 3 breaths can bring us right back into our body and bring us into the present moment as well. Awesome. Well, keep your comments coming. Go ahead and keep typing in your experience, what that was like. You can come back to it as much as you want this week. Tomorrow, we expand into how we relate to peace when we take action. And I look forward to seeing all your comments. I look forward to seeing how you took this acceptance, this steadiness, and this breath into your day. And I look forward to hearing from all of you on the replay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.